Hi everyone, happy International Women's Day. My name is Skye. I'm the COO of Escape the City, where we work to try to help people to do work that matters to them and the world. I'm really excited to be here today talking about something that I believe to be really important in work and life, and especially as a woman. Maybe something we don't talk about that often, which is bravery. Now, ultimately, what does bravery have to do with your career? If you want to do something different, if you want to make a career transition, if you want to get to the top of an industry or a field, or if you want to start a business, all of those things require quite a healthy dose of bravery. And unfortunately, we live in a world where society still undervalues and underestimates the role of women in our abilities, ultimately. So as unfair as it is, the world requires us to be braver than we should have to be. No one is out there, there's no fairy godmother out there who's just waiting to create the perfect opportunities for us. In order to live the life that we want, we have to be proactive. In order to be where we want to be, in order to live the life we care about, we have to make the choice to be brave. Being brave for me is a way of being. It's a choice that we make every day, sometimes dozens of times a day, maybe for some even hundreds of times a day. It's not a character trait. A lot of people associate bravery with acts of heroism, people jumping out of planes, people who decide to be police officers, or whatever that might be, right? But for me, I'm talking about everyday bravery. It's something that you practice, it's something you build, it's like a muscle, it's like any other muscle in your body, you work on it to build it up. You're not born with a fixed amount of bravery, and there's not brave people or not brave people. It's something that you do, it's an action. And ultimately for me, bravery means choosing what is right over what is easy. Bravery is acting with integrity, and integrity is choosing courage over comfort. It's choosing what's right over what's fun or fast or easy, and it's practicing your values and not just professing them. It's also about choosing awkwardness over resentment. It's about upholding boundaries and holding other people accountable. Brené Brown talks about this research she did, which showed that when you have a difficult conversation, there are only 8 seconds on average of awkwardness in that conversation. When you say, hey, that wasn't very cool when you did that thing, that awkwardness lasts 8 seconds. And I am choosing awkwardness over resentment because that's the result of not having the conversation. For me, it's also about being true to yourself in a world that's constantly trying to make you something else. It's living a life that's true to you, because unfortunately, you can never live a life that you want to live and not disappoint somebody. You're gonna piss somebody off, you're gonna let some people down if you are yourself and you live the life that you really want. And being brave is knowing that and living the life you want anyway. It's being yourself anyway. And finally, I guess, for me, bravery is vulnerability. Again, Brené Brown, the goddess, she talks a lot about this. Being honest, putting yourself out there, sharing when things are difficult, that is bravery. Those are little acts of bravery, saying, hey, I need some help, I'm not doing very well, I'm really struggling with my divorce, I'm feeling really depressed, I really took it very difficult, it's really difficult for me when that thing happened. Those are little acts of bravery. The people that we admire the most as a society are the people who share the struggle, who share that they've been through something. It's all part of the hero's journey. You go through some struggle, you learn from it, and you come out the other side a different person. And being able to share that enables you to be brave. And here's what I know. He or she who has the greatest capacity for discomfort rises the fastest, because bravery is not about the absence of fear. Bravery is about feeling the fear and doing it anyway. But in order to do that, there are a few things that need to be in place for you to be brave, to make those brave choices. The first one is that you have to know what your values are. People talk a lot about values, it's kind of like a buzzword. But ultimately, values are your code of conduct, and it's very difficult to make brave choices or to do brave actions if you don't know what really matters to you. If I know that my values are compassion and perseverance and resilience and bravery and generosity, and I feel like those things are really true to me, then every time I'm faced with a decision of how am I going to act, am I going to have the difficult conversation, what am I going to say, I can think about how might I act if I was acting aligned with those values that really matter to me. Having a why is really a great tool to overcoming a difficult how, right? So whatever they might be, have a think about what are 3 to 5 values that really, really matter to you. Not what you think that should be your values, but what really are true to you, that you can use the next time you're in a difficult conversation or you have to do something that's difficult. It gives you a basis upon which to act ultimately. And the second thing that has to be true in order for you to be brave is you have to have the energy for it. So you cannot be brave if you're exhausted. At Escape, we talk a lot about this idea of multipliers, which are just activities or things that multiply your energy. And I can tell you that without doing those things, it's almost impossible to be brave. If you can't have a difficult conversation, you can't put yourself in the best position. Making the time to take care of yourself, to make the time to do the things that give you energy, to be around the people that give you energy is crucial. It's fundamental to being able to be brave. So it's having a think about what are 2 to 3 things that really give you energy that you might be able to do the next time when you're faced with a difficult conversation, or if you want to be a bit braver, that are going to help to build you up. The third thing that needs to be true in order for you to be able to be brave, a crucial condition, is to know that you'll be okay even if it doesn't work out. So the unfortunate truth, the inconvenient truth about bravery is that if you are brave enough, often enough, at some stage you will fail. You will fall. You will have hardship. And failure is the price that we pay for ambition, right? It's inevitable. We can't make a plan to get around it. Eventually it will happen, right? But if you fail when you are taking action aligned to your values and to what really matters to you, and you have the energy to do it, it will help to build your sense of self. Your resolve to try again increases, and it's in the moments when things go wrong that we realize that we can cope. We build our resilience. We learn, and then we go again. So, cheesy quote time, but you've already survived 100% of your worst days, which is a pretty good success rate so far. Thinking about times in the past when you have had a difficult situation and you've managed to overcome it or learn from it or grow can help you to then go into a difficult conversation, to do something that's a little bit scary, and knowing that no matter what happens, you're going to be okay. But really take the time to think about it, because it is a crucial condition. You have to know that you might fail, and that's really okay. So how do you actually build bravery? Being brave is simply about making brave choices. It's about little steps, little conversations, taking a moment when you're faced with a decision that feels difficult or a conversation that feels awkward, and thinking about what action would you take if you were aligning it with your values or doing what's right over what's easy. So what's a conversation that you're putting off because you're afraid it's going to be awkward? Choose awkwardness over resentment. What is one step that you could do that is going a little bit towards something that you really want to do but you're afraid of doing? It sometimes means taking the path of more resistance if it's something that really matters to you. But it's starting small with one conversation, with one job application, with one small action. What would you do if you couldn't fail? What's stopping you from doing that? And then confronting whatever that is bravery. That is everyday bravery. So as you think about some of this stuff, and hopefully it gives you some ideas of what you might want to do, think about Joseph Campbell's quote, which is, "The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek." It's about owning the fear, it's about finding the cave and writing a new ending for yourself. It's choosing courage over comfort, and choosing the adventure of being brave and afraid at the same time. because courage is contagious. And once you start, you'll notice how it comes more easily to you and it will trickle into other parts of your life.